Hi, Greg.
Hi, Tom. So today, Tom, we're just going to show how to edge a chain properly. So we have a still MS180 in here today. There's a couple of different options for edging a chain, right? So you can edge it on the machine, right? So you're getting, sometimes when you edge a chain on the machine, you're taking a little bit too much off the chain, depending on who does it and how rough you are with it. You can do it by hand, right? So with a round file, okay? So you put in your round file, you're just giving it a little rub, okay? One or two pulls in every tooth. There's also a couple of parts of the chain that people don't know. People think that you rub the file here, okay, on your cutter. But the problem is, if you don't take down the raker with a flat file at the same time, every couple of turns, every couple of edges, you won't be able to cut timber. All you'll be doing is getting the timber stuck getting your chain stuck in the timber.
Right.
All right, so this one here is called your raker.
Yeah.
And that needs to be a fraction lower than your tooth at all times.
So explain, we'll say this is your cutting edge. What does your raker exactly do?
This is your cutter. So the raker basically is like a bumper. So it prevents the tooth getting jammed inside in the timber.
Okay.
Right, so it just barely lets the cutter do its work. Right, so you can imagine the timber's going over here.
Yeah.
And it's just barely gripping every time.
So if the raker wasn't there, that would bind into the wood, would it?
Bind into the wood, you wouldn't
Okay.
be able to cut timber at all.
Okay.
All right. So today we're going to use a 2-in-1. Okay. So this tool here, it does both your cutting tool with the round file,
Yeah.
and it also brings down your raker. It's really clever design with your flat file here.
Okay.
All right. So it's really clever. So when you're going edging a chain, it's important to know where your starting point and your finish point is. So we just give it a little mark of where you're starting, right? And the trick is to doing your chain, right, is if I do, so you go with an angle, okay? So the angle is preset here on this, right? You can also see on some chains, now it's not on this one because it's a cheaper chain, that there's a line at the back of your chain. Okay. That does two things. Number one tells you your angle of the chain that it needs to be edged at, and also it tells you when your chain is finished. Okay. All right? So the most important thing to do when you're edging is, if you do two or three pulls on each side, you have to do the same on both sides equally. Okay. All right. So we'll do 3. Okay, this chain isn't great. 2 and 3. All right. So you get a nice little finish, and you're also bringing down the raker.
With this, you're just doing 1, or are you doing 2 at a time?
No. So you're just doing one tooth. Right. Okay. So you do one tooth. You go all the way around your chain. So you move on to the next one. 1, 2, and 3. Keep it at 3 all the time. 2, 3. Okay, so we've one side of the saw done now, one side of the chain done. I've turned the saw around in the vise. So now we're getting the other side of the tooth. So I have this side cut or sharpened, and now I'm going getting this one. Okay, so you always push it away from you. Okay, so we're just going to line it up. Remember to go with the angle. Keep the angle the same, and also keep the amount of strokes with your file the same. So
do you usually do 3, yeah?
3, it depends on what the chain needs. So some chains could come in, they could need 5 and 6. But if it needs 5 and 6, you get 5 and 6 on both sides.
How often would you do this? Depends, obviously.
It all depends on what you're cutting. If you're cutting a lot, some people out there they'd edge their chain every time they fill up the petrol tank.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So, like...
But you'd feel it going flat anyway, wouldn't you?
You would, yeah. And look, to be honest with you, edge is key. So the more of an edge you have on your saw, the more efficient your chain is doing, the more efficient your saw is doing, the less petrol you're burning. It's better for everything. So, like, if you... After every 20 minutes, half an hour, if you wanted, you could come along with a flat file. You don't have to take down the raker the whole time.
Yeah.
If you came along with a flat file and give it one rub on every tooth,
it's
sharper than the last time without rubbing it. So,
okay.
You know, so that's it.
Check out Dormer's Garden Machinery on YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.